Andy, tell Dad to turn the mute the TV.
We lived on how many miles? We had to walk back home after church. We always walked to church, and then we had to walk back home if somebody didn't volunteer to take us home. Anyhow, they took us home for several nights there, and Daddy got him to take us to Trace City. His mama's sister lived in Trace City. All her kinfolk, that's where she was raised. Anyhow, they had fire that weekend, and we went to the fire, and they asked me, he said, "You want to get married?" Well, I might as well. I was 16 then, how about that? But anyhow, we like 2 months and 1 day had been married 60 years. That's pretty good, wasn't it?
So had you been on any dates when he asked you to marry him?
I just walking to and from church.
Mm-hmm.
That was the extent of her dating.
Is it before or after the moonshine running days?
What, Andy?
I said that was before or after the Dee Wooden moonshine days?
Oh, that was
Before,
way
okay,
before.
way before. All right.
Daddy had, there was, I don't know, how many kids did you have? Y'all had 2 or 3 or 4 kids when Daddy got caught hauling moonshine.
He was that close to being a NASCAR race driving star.
Daddy,
Well, yeah, if he was running moonshine, he was close. That's where it all
We
started.
lived in Brown Collar then.
didn't you already have me and Terry and Roger and Richard and maybe Margaret? It seems like I remember Daddy saying he told the judge he had 5 kids at home.
That's it. We had, Margaret was 7 months old when we left Brown Collar and went back to Florida.
So Mildred was between Rick and Margaret.
So, they and Arthur made whiskey. They got sugar from William Kizard, and he just had a place that he laid it off for them, put the sugar off. They never did see him unloaded or nothing. Anyhow, this man, they know who it was turned them in. It was Brock man. And it's wonders Arthur had killed him, but anyhow, they kept Dee all night to beat it over. I had went with Dee up to Washington that day and stayed all day with her. And late that evening, there was a car with 4 or 5 men turned around in her yard, and that's who it was. Dee said it was. They was in the car. It was an unmarked car. We didn't think about it. You know, there's all the time somebody doing that.
That was the revenuers.
Yeah, and they had Dee and Arthur in the car with them. And they kept not coming in. It got dark. Nobody come in. And Dee's old mule come walking up the road or something, and James happened to find it. And he brought it up to Arthur, or no, he put it up, and he come up to Arthur. And he knowed by that mule being loose that something had happened to Dee and Arthur the reason the mule was out. And cause they used it there to steal. Anyhow, when James come in, he told about catching a mule and stuff, putting it up. And I went back home when he took me back to the house. And they never come in all night, but he come in pretty early the next day.
Well, who paid their bail? That somebody have to pay?
I guess William Kizard did. Anyhow, I probably know, but I forgot. Anyhow, they kept me one night, that's the only time he was ever in jail. And, but he was on probation for a year. And of course, Dee couldn't read or write, and I had to fill his papers out. And we fooled around and forgot it one time with a man that come around checking on that.
Parole officer.
Yeah, they said, well, Zola forgot it. He said Zola wasn't the one that was on parole. He had a big life about that. But he was on parole for a year.
No, y'all heard the tale about how they ran off twice.
Mm-hmm.
But Arthur was called again. Arthur had stayed, I think, a year or two. So Arthur, he didn't do nothing. He stayed drunk about 2/3 of the time.
Arthur's daddy's brother that was killed in a house fire. When I was a freshman or sophomore, freshman in high school, I guess. Freshman or something. Huh?
I didn't know
When Arthur died in the house fire, I said I was a freshman or sophomore, I don't remember which.
we lived on the CC Road when
Yeah. That's the first time I ever remember seeing Daddy cry.
well, it was so foggy that day. If it hadn't been foggy, we would have seen the smoke and stuff, 'cause it was burning when we went by his house. His house was just off of the road just a little bit.
He lived at the top of the mountain, right where when you start down the mountain to Pikeville, if you're going
But it's so
down the
foggy,
mountain,
they nearly
right
had,
there at the top of the mountain.
they nearly had to hold his head out the window to see how dry it was, so foggy.
It's like
We
that a
had-
lot.
We hadn't much when we got home. We didn't have a phone or nothing, and JB come over there and told us, told Dee that he needed to get over to Arthur, that his house was on fire and that he was in it. And they took off. We hadn't been home just a few minutes.
I remember.
JB come and told us that. But Tracy's got a picture of me and Dee on her refrigerator that Virginia Yerdes gave me when at the reunion this last time. And I'm gonna have her to have some made from it. It was made at the fire that day.
What, the day Daddy asked you to marry him? Well, how did Virginia get it?
She said I gave it to her a long time ago. Well, I probably had 2 or 3 of them.
And then when
I had to because, see, all my pictures got burned up.
yeah, I definitely would like to have a copy of that, and I bet Mark and Andy and Shannon would too.
I'm gonna have Teresa to have already one made.